Welcome to Scry story with our ink blot here, inspired by our sacral chakra. We're going to be going through very organically with some whispers, like a guided meditation, an awareness adventure. We're not sure where it's going to lead, but we'll explore the sacral chakra. And whether you're in a mindful movement, ending your yoga practice like a shavasana session, or you're just simply looking to relax, welcoming closing the eyes to listen, or utilize your visual vessels of the eyes to soothe. And let's go. Thank you for joining me to share my insights. This is our ink blot. And I'll add my words, my insights along the way. So right off the hop here, if you are ending a yoga practice, I welcome you to get into your corpse pose, shavasana. Maybe get comfortable, take a few deep breaths. Release the race and the rush, relaxing the eyes, maybe even rolling them around while they're behind the windows of the lids, and closing the curtains, and feeling the breath draw in and out of the nose as the belly rises and falls. Bringing your attention and awareness to the sacral chakra, sensing your own energy in this vortex, this wheel, this space. And I'm going to begin. And welcoming this flame angel of fire, stepping forward, and we'll let the organic sounds flow around us, adding to our experience. This flame angel is coming forward very clearly and sparking an openness, open arms, revealing a kindness within this sacral space. Any sort of sexual energy or attractiveness. I'm seeing a corset in the a hidden corset. And I'm going to explore this for a moment if you're resonating. It kind of looks like a vampire. And as I dig in to see what I see, sense, and feel, I'm going to wander in the curiosity. Am I feeling restraint from expressing creatively for connection, companionship? And has something happened in the past where I've put this corset on to control a figure? Maybe somebody in the past has overdrank from the elixir of this energy center. But I'm wandering also down another rabbit hole, if I may, if you care to join me. And I'm seeing it not only as this corset, but like a dress. Almost like an Elmira or Elvira dress. Very sexual, and it is attractive. And I'm noticing within myself, as I'm here in this space with you, that this feels opening. And maybe that's what we can do together here in the sacral energy, whether it is through creativity or connection and compassion with another mate, is opening that and seeing such a kindness to oneself first, to this area, and feeling that. And if there is something from the past, am I willing to loosen the corset a little bit so I can breathe fully? Breathe fully in the sacral energy and allow this flame angel to come through. It's been protected for some time in whatever context or respect. But I'm seeing ghosts of a bird, maybe a cardinal. And if there's been any heartbreak it's dissipating, it's becoming ghostly. The narrative maybe that we tell ourselves, the memories that we hold on in our reflection of what went right, what went wrong, maybe in that creative context, projects, things I want to do, things I want to create and explore from a curiosity. And any doubts are being released like ghosts. You can take a moment to feel that. They're just like slowly dissipating and crossing the threshold. I'm also seeing a moose over here has stepped forward in our session. And this moose brings grace, wisdom, and a surety of its position. There's no feeling while I'm here that this moose is forceful, though the ability is there to defend. This moose up here, it's almost like, shh, it's our little secret. It's our little secret. This shift is happening. Those of the past that have wandered away, or even our own reflections of our sacral energy, we're shifting. And perhaps even in this space, as we breathe into it with fire and a very orange-yellow flame, torch, if I may. And we're not looking to shout this. Moose, spirit animal, wisdom, a surety of our own sense of self. And I come back into the kindness of opening up this veil like a lace shawl. It's elegant, and it represents all the weavings that one has worked through, been through, and the effort has been to create this whole masterpiece. And I'm hearing if there's what could be perceived as in this crochet or lace mistakes or errors, they become part of the personality. And amongst all of the weavings, they're almost invisible. They're almost invisible. Kindness, kindness. Wherever you are in your mindful movements or corpse pose, shavasana, take a few deep breaths, relax the shoulders. Maybe even move the jaw around if there's any sort of angst coming up through the throat, as I'm being guided to come up towards the throat area near this flame. And there is something being expressed towards this moose in the throat, the self-talk. Self-talk. The secretive self-talk is the other moose. One is external and what we're sharing with others, and one is internal. The wisdoms remain the same, but let us be mindful of what we are feeding internally and externally of the throat. There's been quite a lot of work being done here, even in the hidden, when one's attention or awareness has been spread thin sometimes, is how I'm feeling it's coming through. And those moments of being spread thin have been teachers to draw things also back in to source, creative source. I'd like to bring my attention, and yours too if you're willing, to come into just above the chest, breast. And if you feel like there's been bullet holes or a piece of you missing in that area, almost as if I may, they're like bookend bullet holes of the chest breastplate that is letting air move through And even those bullet holes, the wounds from before that have caused whimpers and wishes, they're letting air move through to feed the flame. There's oxygen. There's oxygen in here. If you want to breathe that in, if you're resonating. And it's reminding me to express that even though we're in the sacral energy, being lower on the body line, there could be an expression of it in a different placement of the body. And maybe we wouldn't have habitually, logically placed an energetic or emotional wound up here. And that's okay. It is here in this moment together that we can realize and bring about our own realizations. We'll add on an oracle card to support cosmic womb, the divine feminine. And interestingly enough, if you caught when I was talking about the wounds, I actually said womb. And we'll bring that in. Feel that. If your eyes are closed, the card is very light teals and blues with this embryo around light. And that's what these bullet hole bookends feel like. Orbs of light that are allowing feminine healing energy to come through. And in respect and reciprocity, the male energy, the strength to be of service to the body vehicle, has been harnessing the physical expression or strength to hold the energetic hurt and transmute it into healing with the feminine. And that feels really, really nice. I'm going to wander down before we decide to flip wherever you are in your meditation, mind space, or relaxation reflections. And adding a dose of Reiki through this if you follow that line for healing on a deeper level. And as I move down, I'm seeing a really large tiger. And just like the moose, there doesn't seem to be much of a growl, but there is like a canyon. I'm seeing a grand canyon. A lot of red, orange brick. And perhaps this represents grounding in the sacral chakra. It's asking me to ground, come in and ground. The fluidity of the dress, the corset, is bringing me into this grounding space. I'm following the lines of the dress down, and it helps get me down to the ground. And I may, as I'm here, for one reason or another, feel like I have little feet. And I'm going to take a moment to experience that, if I may. And you're welcome to join me, and of course come to your own conclusions, if any, or let it pass by like a thought, just floating by like a cloud. In this grandeur dress, and I'm seeing these tiny feet. But I'm hearing its only perspective as the dress of you. The energy of the sacral space is flamboyant and large and willing to be expressive internally and externally. It is only by perception that they are smaller. But it's also drawing me down. If you're feeling perhaps a little unstable in your sacral energy or moving through hurt and healing, there is a chance that it is a little older, as I'm seeing them like boots from maybe the Victorian times. And they have buttons or embellishments on them. And it's bringing me back into that attractive sexual desire that maybe there could be a hiding of this character inside of you, or this curiosity. Maybe it is alive and well, and you just simply keep it very private. Your personal life is very private. Your intimacy is private. And that is lovely. In a fun way, it's like seeing somebody who's dressed, ready for a very dry corporate job, but they're wearing, bright orange underwear and nobody knows, but it empowers them. Do you feel me? It empowers them to know what others can't see, but they've applied. And there's a brilliance in that. I'm going to flip it over here. And maybe if you're in a restorative yoga pose or you want to shift the body, you're welcome to. This is a great time and space to do that. And allow the sounds and the shuffles and the hustle and the bustle add to the experience. Stillness. May we not bring stiffness into our stillness. And changing the perspective and not carrying necessarily what we saw before. There's a connection here, perhaps with the male and female energies of oneself. Maybe you're sensing your spirit guide up here, if I may as well. And there's something been building with these 3 stones or 3 rocks or 3 taverns. Pulling an oracle card to support gestation period, winter's dream. Thank you. So your spirit guide or spirits of the sacral, these little rocks or caverns amongst this canyon are seeds of dreaming, resting, the spiral of creation. What is it that I really want? There's an admittance there with, again, this sacred being, this spirit guide of sorts. It's really quite beautiful. All this light force is imbued in the red rock. And when I say red, I'm really more so meaning like orange red brick. And it feels wonderful, this channel that draws me all the way down to see I actually speak my flame. And the frequency of my sacral energy is moving through to come out of my mouth, the bottleneck of the throat, even if it's hidden, right? Just like the gray or black suit with the bright orange underwear or socks, or socks. And, showing little bits in obscure places, but it's coming through. And perhaps the self-talk or the external talk will start having snippets of this sacral energy moving through, and the flame of the throat. I'm really getting the sensation that the throat and the sacral here are connected. Self-talk. Stars in the sky, limitless possibility has stepped forward in this bridge between what I'm sensing as we're here together is the sacral to the throat. And the stars in between are kind of, if I may, going back to the top here, when meeting your spirit guide or spirit of the sacral energy, these periods of gestation are building and growing like a star in the sky. And it also brings me back to the alternative perspective when we were speaking of the Elmira or Elvira lace cape opening. Each star, each expression being of its own. Any errors, regrets, or remorse become a part of the artistry of our existence, and they're no longer seen as airness. I'm seeing a Native American in this red rock, and this indigenous wise one could be indicative of your sacral spirit or a spirit guide that maybe you very much so understand. Could have even been an expression of you in another life. And that is a great reminder as I'm seeing a bull. I believe it's a bull, but it could be any other animal with horns in the desert. That this could be reflective of a past life, of a persona, a personality, a person you were. And it's seeping through into this lifetime through the sacral energy to say, we have created before under different landscapes and circumstances, and I'm still working with you as these lifetimes are parallel. And perhaps that is a particular wisdom that may resonate. And then I'm being drawn down to this area. And I'm seeing another person or character, but they are, they have a blanket around them or some sort of cloak or blanket, and they have a dog or a wolf with them, and they are walking the dog, and they are being of service to the dog, to the animal realm. There is a respect and reciprocity in this wisdom that the human expression, if I may, the soul of the self expressed is of service to the animal. And the animal is eating plenty. Maybe you have an affinity for animals, or maybe it's a really great place to soothe the sacral energy. And though we may traditionally see animals being of service to us, especially in a soothing space, and stepping forward to work with an animal, maybe that is an inspiration to step forward and support the service of the animal energy. But there's definitely service here. And they are helping the sacral energy through loyalty of self-love and self-care, through creation. It's all very kind, very kind. And when I look through here in the center space, I can see one portion of the sacral energy is sharp. And I'm seeing where I saw in the desert before when I was connecting with the Native American or indigenous energy, here I'm seeing it as a very mature deer. And I believe there's a name for that quite specifically, but I apologize, I'm not sure what it is. And that's okay. There's a protective nature here. Being willing to stare in the face, not as a deer in headlights, but as staring directly at the source of this energy space in which I would like to create or let go. And it feels wonderful. There's a strength here, the strength, and it is connected eventually to the flame of the throat. I'm speaking clearly, speaking calmly. And if I may, this very mature deer could also be a reindeer. And moving down to the bottom here as we are getting ready to close, I'm going to add on another oracle card, deep dive, diving into a task, and we are coming right into that space. And while the card is reflective of water, the number 10 is standing out. A cycle, perhaps a sacral cycle, and you're familiar with it, and you're diving deep here with me now. Perhaps working with the emotions embodied within the sacral energy, and we bring down, reaching our flame. I'm going to grab a rune here. There's going to be a few scattered noises as I close my eyes. Relationship mating has come through. And we've been speaking of this in different regards. I'm not sure if the lighting, there we go. In different regards of a relationship with the self, with another, our creative energy of wanting to express corporately, creatively. Our connection to and our relationship to the sacral energy. And the mating has come through, and there might, through those hurts turned healing, there could absolutely be here, a willingness to open back up to that deep connection. And it brings me so beautifully into this space where I'm seeing feminine organs. And there's a willingness to look inside through this mating, female energy or expression, the ability to create from the sacral space, supported by the male energy and aspects that are wisely like that mature deer, that reindeer protects. Wherever you are in your meditation, let's take a few deep breaths together. If the eyes are closed, you're welcome to start rolling them around both left and right and awakening your sight without opening the shades of the curtains yet of the eyes, wiggling the tongue and the teeth, maybe even the fingers and the toes. A nice long stretch drawing your north and south, east or west, in whichever configuration you've been lying with me in. Maybe you've been seated and you want to do a little side stretch to one side or the other. Maybe you've just been listening as you've been on the go, and this has been adding a particular quiet and peculiar narrative while you're in a busy place. And this has been soothing and supporting and serving your sacral energy, like that dog and that being, the service animal. And your awareness, your attention is supporting of that, and I thank you. So wherever you are, dear loved one, whenever you are ready to begin from here, to breathe from here, may you know your sacral is supported, loved, and really grateful that we journeyed here together. Thank you.